I think that we can all agree that this COVID-19 situation has perhaps disrupted the majority of our lives. And for me, it meant being stuck at home in isolation for weeks, almost a month. And although having time off work was initially great and gave me the time I needed to work on my recent videos, it led to a very impulsive and undisciplined lifestyle. I stopped training, I started eating irregularly, I slept at inconsistent times. I was basically back to where I was pre my workout challenge last year. And after waking up super late one day and wasting a whole day that was meant for work, I decided enough is enough and that I needed to get my life back on track. So that's why I'll be spending the next 66 days to redevelop my self-discipline by implementing habits both old and new in order to improve the quality of my lifestyle. Why 66 days? Well, according to Google and other subsequent videos and articles I've researched upon, they say it takes around an average of 66 days for a new habit or behavior to develop and become automatic. So here's the plan. As a way to make sure I start this challenge from a clean slate, I'll be experimenting with a one-day dopamine detox fasting. It's a pretty controversial / debatable topic, but the practice basically involves you abstaining from pleasurable activities for a certain period of time. In the most basic sense, the goal is to help reset your brain and destimulate yourself from the activities that tend to distract you from what you should be actually doing. These activities could be streaming videos, gaming, sex or masturbation, taking alcohol or drugs, or even at the most extreme like scrolling through social media and pleasure eating or comfort eating or whatever you want to call it. As dopamine is known to play a role with addiction, this practice is supposed to discourage us from making decisions that could make us more unproductive and lazy, and also stop us from falling back into old habits. It's been almost a month since my family and I have been under quarantine and isolation. Since I've been using this time to try and work towards being a YouTuber, I am often on my computer doing either video editing, script writing, and doing necessary research on topics for whatever video I'm currently working on. Though, this has also become a gateway for me to become distracted, since whilst my computer is my source of work, it is also my source of entertainment. And this includes streaming videos, social media, and a hecking lot of gaming. So for me, my personal dopamine fast will involve me from going offline and basically unplugging from anything and everything revolving technology. However, at the moment I am being monitored as a close contact of COVID-19, so I will have to keep my phone on for the meantime just until I do my daily monitoring with the Department of Health and Human Services, and then I'll turn it off afterwards for the rest of the day. The only other thing I'll be doing is using my camera to document what I do during my day of fasting, and I know that might be considered cheating for the more extremists out there, but it will mainly just consist of B-roll footage of the day. This challenge will officially start tomorrow, the 6th of August 2020. So enough talking, let's get walking. Oh, so lame. Sup guys, it is the 7th of August, Friday today, and your boy made it through the fasting. The fasting actually went better than expected. On the Wednesday night, leading up to when I went to sleep, I couldn't help but feel anxious. And in hindsight, I think it was due to the fact that I couldn't help but fear that I was going to be extremely bored throughout the day of fasting, given the fact that I was going from 10-hour plus days on my PC to nothing. I was actually low-key worried that I would have gone insane. Logically, I knew that wasn't really going to happen, but emotionally, that's how I felt. So what did I do for the day of fasting? Well, after a solid 10 to 11 hours of sleep, I got up, brushed my teeth, washed my face, and then had some good old brekkie. After brekkie, I meditated for the rest of the day. I'm kidding. I probably meditated for 20 minutes, and after that I decided to go and kill some time doing some much needed spring cleaning for my wardrobe. I probably spent close to 3 hours-ish sorting through and folding my clothes, throwing out whatever that didn't vibe with me anymore, and yeah, basically just kept whatever I had worn as of this year. I ended up filling up close to 3 garbage bags worth of clothes. Anyways, after that, besides like showering and having dinner, I spent the rest of the day just either meditating or chilling in front of my heater because yesterday was very cold. And I forgot to add that after my shower, it was already around 6 o'clock, so that's when I decided to turn off my phone. I figured that DHHS wouldn't call me any later than that, so I was like, why bother? Yeah, before heading to bed, I actually did a bit more tidying in my room, and that included doing a mandatory deep clean for my keyboard, which the last time I cleaned it was about probably a year ago. After that, I washed up, did some stretches, and headed to bed at around 9:30 p.m. Overall, I probably spent an average of 5 to 6 hours of either meditating or doing nothing and just sitting around, just being in my thoughts. So I guess I was pretty successful in avoiding going on my PC and my phone. And as I mentioned before, even though I did head to bed around 9:30, I didn't end up sleeping up until around 1 to 2 a.m. last night. I wasn't sure if it was because I overslept the night before or it was because I spent the majority of the day doing very low energy activities, but my mind was literally buzzing like crazy when I was trying to sleep. Despite my lack of sleep, I did get up on time today at around 6 a.m. feeling pretty tranquil. I don't know, it almost felt like I came out of like a very extremely short holiday or getaway, and even though physically I feel pretty tired, I actually feel quite refreshed both mentally and emotionally. And yeah, y'all must be wondering, Daniel, why the hell are you getting up at 6 a.m. when you could have easily just slept in to make up for your lack of sleep? Well, let me tell you, I was very tempted to turn off my alarm clock last night just so I could sleep in, but waking up at 6 a.m. is a part of my routine now, which is a part of my challenge. And yeah, you guys are probably wondering, what does this challenge consist of for the next 66 days anyway? Basically, the challenge will consist of me strictly following a list of habits for the ongoing 66 days. Here's the list of the new habits that I want to develop and why I want to maintain them. I've also reorganized these habits into a daily morning-night regimen in order to keep my days more efficient and orderly. This also leaves room for flexibility throughout the day for me to tackle on the bigger tasks that I need to accomplish. My morning routine's goal is to help me efficiently get primed and ready for the day at my most optimal. Whilst my night routine is to assist me from unplugging from the day and building a good foundation for myself for the next day. Lastly, every single day for the 66 days, I'll tick off all the habits that I need to accomplish throughout the day and rub it all off at the end once all has been completed. Basically, I believe that if I follow this routine religiously and diligently for the next 66 days and for longer hopefully, I'll be able to, I guess, bring some balance and order back into my life and I guess fortify a foundation that will help with my personal growth for the long term. Will it work? I don't know. We're gonna find that out together. So, roll the montage. What's up guys? So it is the 19th of September today and that means we are 44 days into the challenge. Just wanted to share a little update with you guys on how things are going, and things are going surprisingly very well. I don't want to share too much info at the moment because I want to save all the main points for the end of the video, but just want to let you guys know that I've been very consistent and diligent with following the routine so far. Yeah, I have not missed a single day, have not had any slip-ups yet. Every night I've been able to get to bed and sleep before 10, and every morning I've been able to get up at 6 a.m. on the dot. Day in, day out, so far so good. Though there is one thing that I'm still struggling with, and that's consistently unplugging at 8:30 p.m. every night to do my night routine. Most nights I'm either streaming or gaming during my downtime, and if I'm unaware of the clock, then that means I sometimes do go overtime and start unplugging later than I intend to. Not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, as I still manage to get through the whole routine and be in bed before 10 p.m. However, I think for the remaining 22 days of the challenge, I'm going to aim to consistently unplug at 8:30 every single night for my night routine, and I'm gonna try and do that until the end of the challenge. So yeah, just a little quick update for you guys. See you guys then. It is Monday, the 12th of October today, and the challenge is finally done. Following from the day 44 update, I was still struggling with unplugging at exactly 8:30 p.m. every single night throughout the week. I actually did have an alarm set at 8:20 to help remind myself to get ready for my night routine, but thinking I still have like 10 minutes left, I'd end up watching a YouTube video or be on my phone, and then next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, it's 9 o'clock p.m. and cut to me rushing my routine to being in bed by 10 p.m. at night. Although by day 53, 54ish, I finally got my act together and started unplugging at exactly or a bit after around 8:30 p.m. every night. Overall, this challenge was quite fun and interesting to do. As all my fellow Victorians may know, our stage 4 restrictions got extended for another 2 weeks, and originally this challenge was actually supposed to overlap to when I started returning to work if we didn't have the extension. I really wanted to see how it would affect my self-discipline and whether or not if I could actually juggle the routine while I was working. However, here I am finished with the challenge and still not out of work. Not that I'm complaining though. But I am actually intending to continue the routine, but with a few little changes here and there. We'll see what happens when I start working again. But yeah, it seems like I was pretty successful with following through with this challenge. For the majority of the time, I did have my routine down pat. Some days may taking a bit longer than usual depending on my mood. All in all though, I was able to be consistent and check off each day with a 100% rate. Of course, there were times when I didn't feel motivated and I didn't want to follow through with the routine, but I was extremely committed to this challenge, and by around like day 30ish, it came to the point where I would actually start feeling weird or off if I didn't do the routine properly, which was a good thing. It was great. Throughout my days, my mind didn't have to constantly worry and stress about reminding myself to like stretch today, to read today, to do this, to do that, because I had actually already set aside time to do those during my routine. This meant that I could actually focus on my main goals for today, whether it would be some like planning, working out, or doing creative work. And if I had nothing to do that day, then I could freely stream videos or play games without feeling guilty. And speaking of my creative work, my productivity levels actually increased considerably. Although there were times when I still did procrastinate here and there, I do find that it has been easier for me to snap out of whatever I was distracted with and refocus, which has saved me a lot of time. Every night, as part of my journaling process, I would also jot down the main things or goals that I had to accomplish the next day, and found that compared to the me before the challenge, I was actually completing these tasks on that day instead of being lazy and constantly putting it off to do other things. And having a lot more productive days also meant a lot more guilt-free sleep. Before my challenge, whenever I wasted a day doing nothing instead of doing work, I would always go to sleep feeling bad and guilty. But now, not as much. And speaking of sleep, man, consistently having 8 hours of sleep every single night feels really good, y'all. Especially for someone like me who was having really inconsistent hours of sleep before the challenge. Of course, I wasn't sleeping like a baby every single night, but seriously, the only bad night of sleep that I've had that I can recall throughout the challenge was actually that night before day 1 when I had that dopamine detox day. Consistent sleep is great, y'all, and I think too many people are sleeping on it. Moving on now, for my studying, I actually finally decided to invest that time into working on my Vietnamese because I am absolutely trash, and it was about time I finally worked on it. Initially, I did try watching videos on YouTube from like some Vietnamese channels, but they weren't really engaging or helpful, so I actually started using Duolingo, and surprisingly, it's actually been a great help. It's made me realize how much I'm actually lacking in my Vietnamese vocabulary, and I've even made a physical list of all the words that I've learned throughout using Duolingo in order to help it ingrain in my memory a bit more. I'm not sure if my parents have noticed, but I feel like I'm able to communicate and express myself more freely in my mother language. Holy crap, I'm actually on a 61-day streak. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but yeah. My favorite part of this routine was actually being able to journal and meditate again. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed doing these in the past, and they've been a great help for me both emotionally and mentally. It just genuinely felt good being able to just sit down and reflect on whatever prominent feelings or thoughts that I had during the day, and confronting myself through writing and meditating has actually helped me understand myself just a bit more. This might sound cliched and all, and I'm not speaking for everyone when I say this, but you'll be surprised on how much we actually suppress and avoid the emotions and experiences we deal with throughout our daily lives. Especially for those who are feeling kind of stuck at the moment, I feel like taking aside some time, whether that be 5 minutes or 20 minutes, to look inwards in ourselves can give you guys a lot more clarity about the current situation or state that you guys are in. For me, All this reflection actually helped me understand what this challenge meant to me and really helped strengthen my resolve to not give up and see this challenge through until the end. I might actually make another video purely focusing on the topics of reflection and self-discovery. There's so much to expand and elaborate upon. Yeah. Like I said before, I do intend on continuing with this routine with a few changes. I'll be removing the time of when I wake up or when I go to sleep, since the only reason why I chose to wake up at 6 AM every single day was in preparation for going back to work. But since that's out of the window now, I've decided that I wanted my days to be a bit more flexible to whatever current life situation I'm in. As long as I keep maintaining my 8 hours of sleep every night, I should be fine. Also, I'm going to be reducing my studying time to around 30 minutes and combine it with more reading, because I do want to spend more time taking on more of my informative books that I haven't touched yet. Also, with reading every night, the book that I was reading is called Living with Wisdom. It's just a book with a whole bunch of passages focusing on a topic dedicated to each day. It kind of gives like a brief but insightful look into each topic and gives you guidance on how you can use this new information to better yourself. It actually worked really well in tandem with my journaling. Now, being realistic, I'm not saying that this challenge has completely revolutionized me and changed me and my lifestyle, but it definitely has given me a lot more clarity and discipline for my life at the moment. The fact that I'm a lot more productive and consistent with my tasks, I'm going to sleep without feeling as guilty anymore, and the fact that I'm just generally feeling better overall indicates that this challenge to some degree has done its job. In many movies and TV shows, we always see these characters go through this like dramatic transformation or change in their lifestyle through like this dramatic montage so they can get that guy or girl or beat that villain or get that thing or whatever. And whether if it's conscious or subconscious, we tend to have the same expectations for our reality as well to some extent. But I just want to remind you all that sometimes you don't need to be doing something big or crazy in order to improve your lifestyle. You could, but it's not necessary. Sometimes all it really takes is a simple little adjustment to your lifestyle, whether that be waking up early every day, going to work out, reading a new book, developing a new skill, or sitting down for 5 minutes just to meditate. And this simple little adjustment could actually build momentum and snowball into more lifestyle changes that will in turn result in a better lifestyle for you. Whatever you choose to do, just remember to make sure that you implement it properly into your daily routine. Be consistent, be disciplined, and you might actually be surprised on how far in life that this can carry you for the long term. Obviously for me, my routine was a bit more intense than doing one simple habit change, but to each their own. My point still stands. If this has inspired or encouraged you to improve your own life, if you're feeling a bit stuck or down at the moment, let me know down in the comments. Are you guys going to try and follow a new routine for yourself? Or are you guys going to try and take it slow and build one new habit at a time? But yeah, thank you to everyone who has stuck to the end of this video, and I hope this video has brought some value to you all. Feel free to support me by liking this video and maybe consider subscribing. This is how I improved the quality of my lifestyle in 66 days during lockdown. Bye.